Good afternoon. Jackson Hartman here on the roadside south of Torrey Pines, write-in candidate for U.S. Representative District 17. Hope everyone's having a good day. Another hot afternoon, but here in the shade there's a comfortable breeze. Anyway, another subject that I think is possibly important. I've heard a lot of various commenting through the recent few years indicating some concern about a smell that gets in the air sometimes. It smells similar to a skunk. I think it's kind of like similar to a smell of skunk mixed with maybe summer sausage. Well, anyway, I think I have discovered an origin. And the first instance that I recall, the first instance that I experienced was actually back in the beginning of June of 2019. I was on the Amtrak Southwest Chief train leaving Los Angeles. I had traveled to Santa Barbara to visit a newspaper office there, where I'd sent a lot of testimony and various reports, and I stayed a couple of nights in a hotel. But when they weren't really interested in what I had been sending and couldn't help me, that I went ahead and proceeded back to Sarasota, after also spending a few nights in Simi Valley nearby, where I had also directed a lot of my concerns. So anyway, on a particular afternoon, I was on the Southwest Chief. The train was just beginning to proceed away from Los Angeles, and I had settled into my seat, nice comfortable seat on the train, nice and air conditioned. And then, a young black man decided to sit in the seat ahead of me. And as he put his luggage up into the rack, he looked to me and surprised me when he looked at me and nervously tense said an accusation of, "You're going to smell like a skunk." So anyway, that kind of startled me, and I sat there kind of contemplating what he might mean. Well, I said I know that I'm always polite. I guess the indication had been that he was accusing that I was going to be rude, or else he knew that he was going to be rude and was going to blame me about it. But I'm always polite instead. So I know that there's rumoring, but there hasn't even been one time all through my life that I'd ever been rude. There isn't any time that I'd ever deliberately been rude in the presence of anyone. So anyway, I didn't want there to be any trouble, just beginning a trip across the nation again. And so I just sat back and relaxed in the seat, but soon something happened. There was a noxious odor, and it soon filled up the entire car that I was in. I was a traveling coach, and the particular rail car, the smell pervaded all through the car, and I decided that it was impossible for any one person to cause so much of a smell, and that it was probably instead occurring from underneath the train somehow. Maybe some kind of a different fluid was clandestinely installed, or that there was a leak. I don't know. I didn't blame the man sitting on the seat in front of me. There wouldn't have been any way to prove it, even if he had. And like I say, I believe that the smell was too pervasive and that nobody could have done it. But he was completely silent. He didn't comment about it. He didn't say anything like, I told you there was going to be a smell or anything. It was just quiet. So anyway, a recent detail that I learned or thought about just recently is, what if there had been a secret rumor against me earlier in my life that others decided to drastically magnify on the day that I was leaving the Los Angeles area. And I think it is relevant. And what had happened was that during high school in Sebring, we had moved from Miami to Sebring, and the first year I attended in Sebring High School was in early 1970 when I was in 9th grade. Back then, the 9th grade was in the old high school downtown, the old two-story building. And then after the summer vacation, the new school was opening, and the beginning of 10th grade was in the new school out off of Kenilworth. So anyway, just before classes began, my mother went shopping and bought us new clothes, shirts, pants, socks, washed them all, and what ended up happening was that the clothes dryer was in the utility room, and somehow a small skunk got into the dryer. So all of the clothes were ruined by the smell of the skunk. And even after repeated washings, all the new clothes were ruined and couldn't be used, except when my mother was also going to, she was very frugal back then, but she decided to go ahead and throw away the saturated clothes and get new stuff. But the socks, there was still something of a skunk smell, but it was only slight and noticeable if you put the sock near your face. So I said, might as well go ahead and use the socks instead of wasting them. So what I didn't understand is that though the smell of the skunk in the socks was only slight, that after a time, in the heat of the day or sitting to a desk in class, sweaty sock or whatever, that the smell became a little bit noticeable. And what I didn't understand is that some might have apparently started a secret doubt of, he's behaving nicely and he's polite, but it smells like he might be secretly rude. So that's something I never thought about. I never even, I knew that I was always polite, so the possibility of a little bit of a smell on the socks being construed as something else didn't occur to me. But apparently that's what happened. And when the subject occurred earlier today, the former gay stepfather basically verified the matter, getting into traffic broadcasting again, saying that back during high school he was only acting as though being parental, and that besides other very bad secret rumoring he had spread against me in Sebring, that he had also wanted to add to speculation that maybe I was being secretly rude. So anyway, a concern is that because of the various other announcements and allegations pertaining to tampering against water, for example, by the former stepfather, that he might be in some way the origin of the very noticeable smells that have occurred these days. Like I say, there has been a lot of comment during the recent years about smells that occur from passing traffic, that occur occasionally, possibly from underneath buses. I think that there's been occasional smells in stores, and it could be, apparently is occasionally caused by a person, but indications are there are some people that the smell occurs near who are rather bewildered about it rather than being any deliberate origin. So whatever the cause is, I hope that everyone is just safe and that there isn't anyone being conspired against. I remember seeing one person drive past saying when they knew about the agreement, the ingredients changed, that they went ahead and kept eating it anyway. So I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, this is another matter of concern on behalf of the people. There isn't any time that I've ever been deliberately rude in the presence of anyone. I haven't noticed the particular smell around myself ever. And I'm hoping that everyone's all right, and hopefully everyone's having a good weekend. Thanks.